Um, in Unit 1, you were introduced to intellectual property and the four basic types. This week, we are going to start our in-depth study of copyright. As an individual and a student, copyright and fair use are probably pretty familiar to you. Legal use includes usages that correlate with the rights you've purchased. There are 6 separate rights accorded to the copyright owner, and we're going to talk about those. We'll talk about what items can be copyrighted and why. We'll discuss one of the exemptions to copyright, which is public domain. Derivative works are another consideration. Nothing created today is entirely new, but most works are not derivative. You'll learn what constitutes a derivative work and how copyright applies to the new work. And you're going to read about the first sale doctrine and how a copyright owner controls disposition of their work. So let's begin. So the owner of a copyright on something has these 6 rights accorded to them, but they also have a really important right, which is to sell these rights, assign these rights, license these rights, give these rights, um, all part, whatever, to other people or companies. For example, the Phoenix Suns can allow ABC Company to create jerseys with the Phoenix Suns logo. Okay, ABC Company would have purchased from the Phoenix Suns the rights to reproduce that specific work, that specific kind of jersey in the quantity that they're paying for. With a limited distribution geographic area. So as you can see, the Phoenix Suns could license their logo to be on hundreds of thousands of things, and yet they don't actually have to manufacture any of them themselves. They are putting all the risk with the companies that are creating the products and distributing the products. They are just selling them the right to use the logo. So let's take a look at some more. Um, the requirements for copyright are, there's really only 3, okay? Fixation, originality, and minimal creativity. So fixation means that it has to be something that can be fixed in a tangible medium of expression. So if it's a song, it has to be recorded or written down. Okay. If it's a movie, it has to be recorded. Okay. Or the screenplay written down. Okay. The creation must be original to the author or creator. So obviously, you cannot copyright something that you did not create. Okay. And the creation must involve at least some creativity, minimal creativity. The courts have ruled that the phone book listing, for example, doesn't possess any creativity, but pretty much anything else does. For example, a listing of the best food places around ASU, that would require somebody's evaluative skills. Therefore, there is minimal creativity. Therefore, that could be copyrighted. Okay. Um, Works such as plays, books, artworks, films, songs, computer programs, etc., can all be copyrighted if they meet these 3 requirements. Now, McJohn gives much more detail on what these categories of works include, as well as these 3 requirements. So make sure you take a look at McJohn. What can never be copyrighted? Circular 31 does a really good job of explaining in detail what things do not qualify for copyright protection. The big thing that I want you to remember is copyright does not protect ideas. Okay, ideas are not copyrightable. Okay, also methods and systems aren't copyrightable. So if you develop a mathematical principle or a scientific process for, I don't know, creating gold out of rocks, okay, um, those things cannot be copyrighted, although sometimes those things may be patented. Okay, so inventions are patent protected if they meet patent criteria, but they are not copyright. Okay. Other things that can't be copyrighted in more specific. So names of businesses, names of products, um, names of, or rather, slogans, mottos, those all cannot be copyrighted. But you're saying, well, wait. Nike, just do it. Nobody else can use the name Nike. Nobody else can use just do it. Um, it's not copyright protected, however. It's trademark protected, which is different. We'll talk about that in Unit 6. Okay. So in terms of copyright, those things cannot be copyright, okay, protected. However, they may be protected under trademark. Take a look at these. Textbook has a lot of examples. They give you some scenarios and then ask you whether or not it fits into the category, and then it will go and explain whether or not you're right and explain the rationale behind it. So it's really good. The last one I want to take a look at, it's really important. Listings of ingredients, like in recipes, or listings of common conversion measurements, for example, 12 inches equals 1 foot, 3 feet equals 1 yard, etc. Those things cannot be copyrighted. Okay. However, the recipe, okay, or the directions for using the listing of ingredients could be copyrighted. Okay. This is the idea expression dichotomy. We're going to talk about that a little bit more because it's really important. So for example, if you list 2 cups of milk, 2 cups of shells, 1 cup of white cheddar cheese, okay, you cannot copyright that as your recipe for mac and cheese. Okay. However, if you write the directions using your own words in a medium pan, saucepan, bring the milk, etc., okay, that can be copyrighted. That expression can be copyrighted, okay? And you'll see this throughout our course about things that can be copyrighted and things that can't because they're ideas and not the expression. McJohn, again, has excellent examples. So let's look at this a little further. Ideas can't be copyrighted, but the expression of those ideas can. So how is that different? Let's take an example. Suppose somebody creates a play about a young couple who secretly marry in the 1900s. One of them is Jewish and one is Irish Catholic. Now, at the time, this was scandalous, totally uncommon. The fathers are both very upset and yelling and screaming and mad and angry until the grandchildren are born, and then everything's great. That's an idea for a story, okay? Let's get more specific. What if a play is written that follows this general idea? It's called Abby's Irish Rose, which it was. This is true. Another playwright comes along and takes the same idea and writes another play called The Coens and the Kellys. The characters' names are different. Their descriptions are different. The dialogue is different. The sub-events that happen are different. Okay. This is not infringement, okay? A basic storyline and stock characters cannot be copyright protected, okay? Because a basic storyline is an idea, okay? Stock characters are ideas. For example, a stock character would be the overbearing mother-in-law, okay? When somebody comes on stage and you can tell immediately that they're playing the overbearing mother-in-law. Or how about the big scary looking man who is just really a teddy bear at heart, okay? All of those are stock characters. You cannot copyright them. However, if you have an overbearing mother-in-law named Joan, and you describe her a certain way, and she looks a certain way, okay? In the specifics, that can be copyrighted. Okay, so idea expression dichotomy is very much something that's always argued in the courts because it's not really clear. It's one of those gray areas again. Okay. So now let's look at public domain. Okay, so items in the public domain are available for anybody to be able to use. Okay. The main way things get into the public domain is if the copyright expired. Okay, so copyright protection is for a limited term, and when it expires, the item is available in the public domain for anybody to use, okay, without the permission of the copyright owner because it's not copyright protected anymore, okay. Um, so that's how the majority of works get there. Works can also get there if the copyright owner didn't follow the renewal rules. There used to be rules that you would have to fill out this paperwork, pay this fee in order to get it renewed for an extended term. That's all changed now, but if something expired during that time period, it would not have copyright protection. Likewise, at one point in time, you had to have the copyright symbol on the thing in order for it to be protected. If you didn't have the copyright symbol on the thing, it did not have copyright protection. So if it was created during that time period without the symbol, it's public domain. Okay. The copyright owner also could have dedicated the work to the public domain, and that means basically they give it for everybody to use freely. Okay. Um, Also note that works by federal employees in the course of their normal duties are not copyrightable, okay, and neither are laws, okay. Take a look at the McJohn text for, there's a few exemptions for this in regard to logos, etc., but just take a look at that.